Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning starts off with you waking up at the bottom of a pit. You were dead, but gnomes decided to resurrect you with the Well of Souls, which they made because... profit? I guess this explains that unknown step in the Underpants plan. Anyways, you fight your way through to the well, only for it to be destroyed. Yes, they introduced what's basically a miracle machine, only to blow it up in the tutorial. And apparently you were the only successful resurrection. You meet the guy who built it, only to get interrupted and have to escape without him. You then meet a Fate Weaver, which is basically a psychic, and he tells you that you have no future. So the game from here is spent finding out your purpose in the world. And as in all Western RPGs, that purpose is killing monsters and finding stuff. Yes, this has the very, dare I say, overly familiar system of find NPC with exclamation point, do what it wants, get money. Being an RPG, this has pretty much what you'd expect. You gain levels, choose skills and abilities, have dialogue choices, and hunt for loot. There's also the basic crafting, alchemy, magic rock making, and blacksmithing. The combat, to me anyways, is both the best and worst part of the game. It starts off basic, but you can learn both spells and combo attacks, you can guard, and you have a dodge roll. It flows together quite nicely, and the enemy AI is smart enough to be somewhat challenging while never being infuriating. So, how is it also the worst? The camera system. When you enter combat, the camera locks onto the field, and it always makes damn sure you can't see what you're doing. The main issue with it stems from the fact that you have no way to manually zoom in or out, and most of the time it auto-zooms in way too far. As such, most of the hits you'll take will be from enemies off-camera. Granted, on normal difficulty it never got me killed, but on hard I would constantly be hit by things I couldn't see and therefore couldn't dodge. But outside of that, everything gameplay-wise is good, especially the freedom you have with choosing your skills. You can mix and match any of the 3 skill trees, making any combination of classes you see fit. And if you end up not liking your choices, you can get a skill reset for a small amount of in-game currency. While the quality of the graphics are good, with no glitches like clipping or ghosting, and being well drawn, the art style may be off-putting to some. I personally like it, but it's a lot like Fable style, just done better. Also, the places you go aren't anything really new. Forests, grasslands, caves, and mountains. That's pretty much it. The music here is pretty lacking. A lot of the time there just isn't any, and when there is, it's just a few notes repeated over and over, or in combat's case, the same drum beat constantly. This is a very long game. While you may be able to rush through the main story in about 15 hours, the side quests in the game add a good 20 hours to that total. There's a lot of them to do. There are some interesting ones story-wise, but most of them involve killing things to get items, running around the world to get items, and going into caves to kill things and get items. Of course, you're going to want to do these quests to get the loot. This has a loot system similar to Diablo and World of Warcraft, with colored rarities. And of course, there are treasure chests everywhere. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say this game was made for loot hunting addicts. So, with a decent story, fun combat, tons of side quests, and lots of loot, I'd say this is a game any RPG fan would likely want. There isn't much original here, sure, but it seems to take most of the good aspects of other games and combines them pretty well. Considering it's their first RPG, I think 38 Studios did a pretty good job. There's some room for improvement, but I'm looking forward to what this developer brings next. Also, EA didn't interfere too much like they usually do, which is a big plus. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Glad I brought my sword.